Hello. So this is a video especially for parents of children in Gateway and potentially grandparents and family members. So we've just heard from Chris on Sunday about the kind of new vision, which is a new way of doing church for this season and something that we're going to weigh for 6 months together. And I don't know how you felt about that. You may have been quite excited about it, but there may have been some of you parents who've been like, oh, how is that going to work? We've had kids work before. Oh, we're feeling a little bit worried about that. And we really want to reassure you that actually this decision for how we do this has been made with the kids at the center, actually, with lots of advice. But not only that, we think that there are loads of opportunities. There have been many challenges in the last year and there are challenges now, but we think there are great opportunities here for our children and for all of us. So I have Amy and Tim here just to chat a little bit about that. And I'd love to hear from them about what they think some of the opportunities are that we can be praying into for our children. So Amy, why don't you kick us off? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about the young and old on a faith journey together, learning from each other. The adults learning from the children and children learning from adults. And everybody's got something different to give. We're all individuals and everyone's got something to give in our church community. I'm excited that those in the older generation will be able to input into our children's lives and those without children. And I think this is really special because we live in a time where we don't live in multi-generational communities and our children won't have that as much as they may have had in previous generations.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about them developing real relationships and friendships with those of different ages because the Christian community isn't about having just friendships in your peer groups. It's about being all sorts and loving everybody and us all being brothers and sisters together, and our children having friendships with people who are older than them really excites me, really. And our children need auntie and uncle figures in their lives to speak into their lives.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned about books before, general parenting advice about the importance of those auntie and uncle figures for young teenagers. That's really good.
Yeah.
Tim, what about you?
Yeah, I jump on the back of that. I think it's one of the big things I'm particularly excited about. I think back when we'd gather as a whole body on a Sunday, and actually those opportunities for our children to connect in a deep way with other adults and individuals and groups of people on a Sunday is really limited unless someone's feeling brave and wants to dance with them up at the front. But there's not a lot of opportunity, is there, for deep relationships to be gathered and somebody to really have time to get to know our children, so that actually they can have that investment that's outside of just parents. So it's something I'm really looking forward to and exploring and seeing how that can go and how that can develop. And I think that can only be a really fruitful thing.
That's brilliant. I know you had a few other thoughts, Amy, that you wanted to share too.
Yeah, I just think for our children's walk with God, it's really exciting that they will be journeying and encountering God side by side with the adults in their family and other adults in the church, that they'll be learning about God together, practicing spiritual gifts together. I just think being able to do all those things together is really exciting.
Brilliant.
It's something I'm really looking forward to. And I think when I was trying to mull over some of these things and what things might look like in this sort of gathering, was just really excited for the opportunity for us, me and my little family, to be able to pray for another individual or another family together, because I don't think I can recollect a time where we've been able to ever do that and on what would have been a classic Sunday gathering. And that's in one respect quite hard to look back and think we've not been able to do that, but also really exciting to think actually my children are going to be able to see how we do this and learn how to do this, so that actually and how much more would our children be able to then pray for each other off the back of us not prompting, knowing that they've had that modeling and that encouragement and that almost normality of this is how we do church, is we do it together and we're able to pray for each other. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think more looking forward to what church life might look like in 2 years, 3 years time, when we've had this grounding of almost re-establishing how church family looks like from with everyone involved. So
yeah, that's exciting.
I think off the back of what Tim said there, empowering our children to be able to serve in church, to be able to pray for people, to be able to step out in spiritual gifts because they've seen that modelled. It's really exciting, and to feel part of the body, that they've got a role to play, and that they're important. They need to be there because they're necessary. Is really exciting. And I think for them to see that adults are not perfect, we haven't reached like this perfect point of Christianity. We're all on a journey, and that it's just so freeing for them, and it opens up that journey of a relationship with God for them as well, because they can see they don't need to be perfect to meet with Jesus. And for our children to see what a relationship with Jesus looks like in other people's lives who aren't part of their family, because as they get older, their mums and dads are a bit annoying and a bit embarrassing, but for them to be able to see and learn from other people, and people who might not express themselves in the same way that their parents do, because we all meet with God in different ways, and it gives them a much wider view of what the Christian life and a relationship with Jesus can look like. And I'm really excited about that as well.
That's great. And for years we've talked about how our children could serve, and here's an opportunity now to do that. Give us your last thoughts, Tim.
I think my only last thoughts are that if I was honest, there's a sense of me that does feel slightly uneasy about going on this new adventure of exploring what family principle church is, because we've just been so used to doing church the way we do it. And when I was thinking about that, and just stepping back for a moment, that often in life when we make a change and we know that it's going to be timely and maybe at times costly and maybe bumps in the road, I think there's something that when we invest our time and our energy into something that's got really good principles, the fruit of that, I'm sure, will follow. And I'm in faith that actually, even though there may be seasons where some of this feels tricky and unusual and maybe a bit hard, I'm in faith that actually this is an investment which we're going to be reaping fruit for much longer than I think the 6 months period that we're weighing up committing to this this type of gathering for. So I'm in faith that we'll see far more fruit than just what we're going to see in this time period moving forward. So I think that's my last thought, really.
That's great. Yeah, everything that's worth doing is worth the sacrifice. I think that's right. Yeah, brilliant. Well, I hope this brief chat has given you some faith and encouragement as you consider what it means for you and your children and your family. As usual, please do get in touch with us if you want to chat more about it. Thank you so much, Tim and Amy. Goodbye.